Okay. Calm down. Okay. Okay. For those of you who haven't seen any one of my reviews, I'm Doofin21, and I normally don't review this, but because when the summer episodes were premiering, my computer was broken, and then for the last episode, I reviewed it, but I didn't release it since it was really bad. And considering what I have released, that's saying something. But gotta stop ambling out. Okay. So I'm here to review Big Time Rush's episode Big Time Decision, and okay. So, um, as you can tell, I like the episode. I'm a huge fan of Big Time Rush. Yeah, I'm sort of not. I'm sort of conflicted why about whether or not I actually like why I got into Big Time Rush, since the thing that got me into Big Time Rush was my grandma died. Um, but yeah, I know I should probably feel sad at that, but I'm sad that she died, but I'm happy that because of that, and since I can't do anything, my parents will let me do anything. I was forced to watch TV while they were moving all the stuff, since I break stuff really easily. But okay, um, okay. So let's see. This episode begins with previously on thing, where at first I thought they were actually doing a previously on thing, since I don't know if they've ever done one before. And then they just did all those crazy clips, did a whole bunch of crazy clips like a witch turned Carlos into a log, they killed Gustavo. Then it showed the actual clip from last episode where Kendall is kissing Lucy in the elevator when Joe appears. And okay, then the actual episode begins, and okay, and Joe explains why she's back. The movie she was in was a flop. A really big flop. Like, it is. People hated it probably more than people hate. I don't know, what's a hated movie that's not so bad it's good, like Battlefield Earth, but so bad it's bad. Garbage Pail Kids? I don't know. I'm trying to think of Nostalgia Critic and Doug Walker. Twilight 4, although there are Twilight fans who like that. I don't know. I haven't seen Twilight. I own all the books because my dad read all of them. Don't ask. And uh well, just trying to think. But yeah, they they hated it so much they burned the theater that it was test screened in. Yeah. And while I admit I laughed at the line, sorta ruins Big Time Breakup because she's so optimistic about getting the role, but now when you watch the episode, you know she is going into a horrible movie. And it just makes me sad, since Big Time Breakup is probably my favorite episode of Big Time Rush, even more than this one. I know that's really not a fun episode, but I liked it a lot. In fact, it was because of the Big Time Breakup marathon that I was watching when my grandma died. Well, I wasn't watching it when she died. It was afterwards, a few months after, I think. During this, whenever it aired. I don't know. But whatever, let's see. And then they talk about that, and Kendall has to choose between Lucy and Joe, and he leaves in the elevator. Okay, and then let's see, then then he goes up to the room, and the other guys learn that Joe is back, and um and they need to find out who Kendall likes more, Joe or Lucy. And I admit, for the longest time, I thought this episode was going to be a major cop out, but we'll get to that when we get to the ending. Okay, so let's see. Then there's a subplot with Katie and Gustavo, which I really like since I'm a huge fan of the guy who plays Gustavo. Granted, I haven't seen everything he's in. In fact, this is pretty much the only thing I've seen him in, although I'm subscribed to his YouTube channel, so I've seen some of that stuff. Um, and then, let's see what else. Uh, and so Katie wants to work at Rock Records for 3 hours so she can get school credit. And she's in 7th grade. I never had to do anything in that when I was in 7th grade, but then again, I'm in the middle of nowhere, Texas. Unless there actually is a town called Nowhere, Texas. Well, actually, I'm not really in the middle of nowhere. My school's in the middle of nowhere. I live sort of closer to the edge of somewhere. Unless there actually is a somewhere, Texas. Man. The thing is, those aren't actually too far away from actual names here. I mean, there could probably be a Nowhere, Texas and a Somewhere, Texas. I don't know. Huh. Okay, but whatever. Let's see. Then there's, and then Gustavo. Gustavo. Yeah, the thing is, she's working there for school credit. Gustavo thinks he has power over her, but then she says something, a business plan to Griffin, and Griffin makes her the boss because he's Griffin, and he does stuff like that. Um, and then it goes back and Kendall's still hiding from both of them. He's running away. Then Logan and Camille tell him to confront his problem, and he tries to, but then he runs away at first sight of them and runs into a room with a sort of scary looking guy with a knife. Then we go to, at least I think that's it. Well, actually, I missed the part earlier where Carlos introduced his zombie gun for the zombie apocalypse, so you don't get infected by zombies. And then, so Bitters says he'll pay him $50 if he gives him the zombie gun. And then James decides that he wants it since he's Carlos's best friend. Um, and, well, uh, okay, so, then there's then we cut back to Kendall and the scary looking guy with the knife, and he's serving him cheese. Well, he's serving Kendall cheese, at least. And talking about how 99% of all problems just disappear on their own, which is what his grandma said. So then he goes back to the room, and what do you know? It's true. Lucy and Joe are both leaving the Palm Woods if he doesn't give him an answer. If he doesn't give them an answer. That's, yeah. So, yeah, he's actually right. The problem will go away, it's just the solution won't present itself. Yeah. Well, actually, I guess that is the solution. Neither of them. Let's see. Then Gustavo doesn't like that Katie's in charge of him and all that stuff. And even though she's making more money for Big Time Rush, like a lot of money. And then Bitters and James are arguing with Carlos about the zombie gone. And Buddha Bob's trying to catch a mouse. Sort of. I that was sort of established earlier or something. Yeah. Although I liked it since the guy playing Buddha Bob is the same guy who played Gordy, and he had to catch the, I think it was, I can't remember, was it a weasel? I think it was a weasel, and it reminded me of that, especially the first scene with it. Um, I don't know if I've been getting things out of order, it's because my memory's not the best. But let's see. Then Carl, yeah, then Carlos is trying to make a tough decision over James and Bitters, and Kendall's having to make a tough decision over Joe and Lucy. Um, and so Logan suggests love science, and Carlos suggests zombie apocalyptics. So then Kendall gets hooked up to the love science machine, and Camille goes to get Joe and Lucy so he can look at them, and they both score tens on the love science meter. And James and Bitters are in the zombie apocalyptics, and James is winning 73-0, but the last event's worth 500 points, and it's a zombie dance-off. But James doesn't want to dance since he's Carlos's best friend, and he should automatically get it. And so Carlos decides with James, even though Bitters offers him $500. He decides with James, but then James drops the zombie gun. So Carlos just decides to throw his down. And then Buddha Bob's looking for the mouse, which he called Brains because he took it as a pet, I guess. And then Katie is doing a lot of good stuff for the company, but she decides to resign since her time's up for her school credit. And then she names Gustavo her next, the person who should run it when she's gone, as long as she doesn't get banned ever. And then she goes to talk to Kendall, who ran away from his problems again, and just tells him to take a walk. Maybe that happened before. I don't know. All I know is that she told Kendall to take a walk, and Kendall to find out who his heart is, and Kendall does, and like the last and like the other show that was created by this guy for Nickelodeon, it features the thing where the main character has to decide between two girls, and there's signs all over the place about who they should be about who he should be with, although this time all the signs are pointing to Lucy, like Lucy's Cafe. There's a girl on a poster who looks like Lucy. There's a license plate that says I love Lucy. So he's just walking and a music video's playing, and he's walking, and he goes to the Palm Woods, and he knocks on the door, and someone opens the door. Then, yeah, Kendall chose Joe. And I'm not hating on all the Kendall Lucy shippers. I think they're called Kusi, or yeah, Kusi. I'm not hating on them. It's just Kendall made a promise written by Gustavo in a song that he would go back to Joe. And I'm glad he respected that. And for anyone who doesn't get it, I mean, what would you obviously don't watch Big Time Rush, I'm guessing, because my favorite song of Big Time Rush is Worldwide. And the line in the song goes, yes, I may meet a million girls that know my name, but don't you worry, 'cause you have my heart. And they pretty much almost quote the line because Joe's all, when she's giving up, she's just like, I knew we couldn't pick up right where we left off, which is we'll pick up right where we left off is a line from Worldwide, and so I'm really glad Kendall got back with Joe. Although my fan fiction series is totally messed up, but then again, it was already messed up since, yeah, I wrote a lot of them ahead of time, and so I didn't know about Lucy, and I didn't want to rewrite them because, and so I have a girl named Danielle who's dating Kendall, and Joe's dating someone in New Zealand, and the films don't get canceled. So, yeah. Yeah, that's, well, it was never actually canon, but it's very AU now. Um, like, really, really AU. In fact, I think we're still in 2010 in the things, because I've only gotten up to, like, the first month. Yeah, there's, like, it was, like, the first day, it's, like, the first night, the first month, and then the 3 following days because she promised Logan, Carlos, and James that she'd talk to them for a day each. Although James got the short stick because Joe kept falling asleep. Logan didn't want to say anything because Kendall had just started dating Danielle that day, and and Carlos blurted it out that he was, which really, when I upload the things, people are gonna think it's very contrived and a cop out of what I did, and I know it's a cop out, but I can't help it. I'm a gentle shipper for the most part, even though they get the things, even though they get a boyfriend and girlfriend. I don't. Eh. Ooh, I've got an idea. I'm gonna check the wiki page, which you guys can't see because I have no idea how to do screen capture. So you'll just see my facial expressions while I'm reading the wiki page for Big Time. Uh, I forgot what the episode's name was already. Big Time. I'll just go to the last episode since I remember Big Time Surprise. Oh, Big Time Decision. No, I haven't gotten to the page yet. My computer's still loaded. At least I think it's Big Time. Yeah, I think it's Big Time Decision. Yeah, I think that's it. My computer's just taking forever to load since I'm filming. And I also have a few tabs open, some of which are YouTube. And, yeah. Yeah, Big Time Decision. That's the next. and, and, yeah, so, oh yeah, like I said earlier, I thought this was going to be a cop-out. Like, I thought he wasn't going to get with either of them. I thought he was going to make it where he was just all, like, going to be friends with both of them. But no, he actually chose one, and of course, the first girl wins. Which may or may not, well, I guess it's technically the same as Ned's Declassified, because even though Ned liked Susie first, it was really Mose he who he was. I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen Ned Declassified, and I can barely find anything for it. I've seen a few DVDs at Hastings that I go to, but they're all the same DVD. And yeah, yeah, yes. Okay. Yeah. So oh, yeah. And some people, yeah, I know. And some people guessed that he would probably pick Joe from the things, but I wasn't too sure because, well, some people said they saw more pictures. The only picture I really saw of Kendall and Joe was them playing hockey, which I know Joe hates hockey, but I'm thinking maybe they're just friends. But no, he chose Joe, which I like since it means that they actually decided on a choice instead of going the route that pretty much everyone else would go. And yeah. I really oh, oh mm, and yeah, wow, really got nothing else to say about this episode except that this may be the last time we ever see Lucy, and she said she was going to leave the Palmwoods if Kendall didn't talk to her, and Kendall went with Joe, so bye, maybe? Unless the next episode, because he talks to Joe, but then he hurries to make sure Lucy doesn't leave, but he doesn't choose her, so she can stay at the Palmwoods. But since the people say they never saw any pictures of her, they're assuming she left. Or maybe Kendall tries to do what I said originally, but finds out he's too late already, or something like that. That would, wow, yeah, that would happen. Oh, oh, yeah. Um, so yeah, I like the episode. I think you should watch it if you haven't already, which if you're watching a review of it, probably should have said spoiler alert at the beginning. If I didn't, I don't know. I don't even remember at the beginning of this review. That tells you how bad my memory is. I mean, I can remember some things, not usually things that I come up with myself personally, unless it's just a joke that I come up with. But if it's just like me talking normally, I can almost never remember it. But if it's like a joke, like um like this one joke I came up with, well, it's not really a joke. It's a joke because it's not a joke. It's an anti-joke. It's this. Did you ever hear about the guy who ate dinner? Oh, what happened? It was delicious. See, I can remember that. I came up with that. I didn't see it from anyone else. Someone else probably came up with it before me, but I thought of it all on my own. I didn't have anyone influence me on that. And also, I have a whole bunch of offensive jokes about The Dark Knight Rises. Don't want to say those, though. Not until I do my review of The Dark Knight Rises. Just gotta prepare my voice, because I'm gonna do the entire thing in the Batman voice. Just gotta wait for it to get on DVD so I can watch it again. That'll be real fun. Yeah. Just talk like this the entire time for a review. It'll get really annoying, won't it? Yeah, I know it will. I'm Batman. So, yeah. You have that to dread. Yeah. Wow. So, anyways, yeah, and if you're one of those people who never actually saw Big Time Rush, you should actually go see it since, really? I didn't even know it was by the guy who did Ned's Declassified when I first watched it, and I still thought it was funny. I mean, I like Ned's Declassified, I like this, I really, I don't know what else there is. Yeah, I gotta say, right now, Nickelodeon has the most shows that I actually like on their channel. I mean, like, Cartoon Network has regular show. Disney Channel does Is Disney Channel still showing Good Luck Charlie? I don't remember. I haven't actually watched TV all that often. In fact, the only reason I knew about this was because online I just searched up Big Time Rush on things, and then it came here and found out that it was going to be last week that the season premiere was. But yeah, so I watched it, and I think they have Good Luck Charlie, and that's really the only shows on each of the networks here. But this has like Big Time Rush. I'm not a big fan of the Power Rangers series. If you look at my reviews, sure, there's a lot of good episodes, but really, I could also say the same thing about Turbo. I could say that I liked a lot of episodes from Turbo. In fact, the pizza episode's one of my favorite episodes all together. And on the fact that Samurai has the episode I hate the most. Um, yeah, so, how much more off topic of Big Time Rush can I get? Um, let's see. Oh yeah, I have this, which really, SpongeBob is, I think SpongeBob's the only character in here whose show is still going, which really had to be expected since this game was made in 2002. But hey, Invader Zim's in this game, which really surprised me. Granted, I got this when it first came out or something like that. I think this was one of the first games I owned. It was this, Mario Party 4, and Wave Racer Blue Storm or something like that. I don't know. So, now that we've gone completely off the rails like my usual reviews, let's end this thing!